Come out, wherever you are.
What is this?
We've got to go. They're coming for us.
Yep. What are you?
Are you filming the road?
Yeah.
Why?
So this image is going viral right now. This is the princess of...
I know you. You know you. And I know you know that I know you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another Bryce's Right. Hope y'all have all had a great freaking week. Hope y'all are ready to dive down deep into some of the creepiest and freakiest videos I could find in the deepest, darkest corners of TikTok. And nah, these aren't your ordinary videos. They're going to be blowing your mind, making your head spin, and having you question your reality. But of course, before we get started, let's go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss out on any future content. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what's up. Other than that, let's go ahead and dive right in, y'all. Let's get it.
Have you seen the video of this guy exposing how Amazon is scamming us? Check this out.
Amazon prices are fake, the sales are fake. It's all based on an algorithm to get you to spend as much money as possible. Just watch. This is Vermont cheese. I have purchased it before, so Amazon knows that I like it. And Amazon knows I prefer to buy things on sale. So what do? They tell me that the price of $3.98 is 31% off to entice me to buy it. Now, when I go on a different person's account, a family member, it says $3.98 with no sale. And this account has never purchased the item. So Amazon is just giving the normal price. But for me, it lies to me and says that the normal price is a sale.
The color of this pen is red.
This is fucking creepy. We're here breaking down the haunted house for the season. Just casually was walking over here. Just noticed that there's something by the cone.
Do you want to play with me and all my friends? Come out, wherever you are.
This was not in the corn maze. This was not in the house.
Why do you look so scared? Everyone in the graveyard just wants to be friends.
No idea where this came from, and it's powered up.
Look at that.
I love the cemetery, especially at midnight, when it's colder, when the other children are long asleep, and the dead awaken.
Look at my eyes. I can feel
Do you
it.
want to play with me and all my friends? Come out, wherever you are.
That's gonna stay there. That's, yeah.
Do you want to play with me and all my friends?
You make me sick.
Y'all know what I would be doing with that thing.
Yeah,
Do you
that's...
want to play with me and all my friends? Come out, wherever you are.
No. What do we have here? It almost looks like one of those guys with the invisible deer blind.
Pack coordination remains stable. Movement calm, controlled, and energy efficient. Feeding behavior cooperative and orderly.
Is that dinosaurs?
Pack coordination remains stable. Movement calm,
This time of year is
controlled,
rough.
and energy efficient. Feeding behavior cooperative and orderly.
God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs eat man.
That's crazy looking. What would y'all do if y'all saw dinosaurs?
Look at the dog done to the grass. This bitch put a figure 8 in my grass, dog. Look at this. This ain't from digging. This from running. Look at this nigga done. Y'all think I picked a up dog in the litter?
That's how crop
Bitch,
circles
you ain't off the
begin.
E. What you out the night? Go inside.
Little dirt bike track for your kid.
We've just learned something really cool about cancer from whales. Let's talk about it.
So one of the biggest mysteries in biology is called Peto's paradox, and it goes like this. The bigger an animal is, the more cells it has, and the more DNA it has, and the more copies of that DNA have to get made as those cells divide. This presents a lot of opportunity for DNA mutations, and the buildup of mutations is one of the major culprits behind cancer. So you would think that larger animals with more cells would be more likely to get cancer and die young. But bowhead whales are not only some of the largest animals on Earth, they're also some of the longest lived. The Inupiat people of Alaska, who have spent a lot of time studying these whales, have said that they can live for 2 human lifetimes. But with all of those cells, and all of that DNA, and all of that time for the DNA to mutate, how do they live so long? Well, as of last week, we actually have a pretty strong idea. Scientists started by checking if whale cells are just better equipped to handle mutations than human cells are, and they did this by deliberately causing cancer-associated mutations in the whale cells and seeing how many it took for them to become malignant. Surprisingly, the whale cells actually seemed less able to handle mutations than the human cells, so the scientists switched gears and they started looking at how frequently those mutations actually occur in nature. They found that whale DNA actually mutates at a much lower rate than human DNA. So one of the major things that causes mutations is what are called double-strand breaks. Your DNA looks like this. It's made up of 2 strands that coil around each other. If both of those strands break, you have 2 broken ends of DNA flapping around in the wind, which is very, very bad. When this happens, your cells go into panic mode and they try to fix it as quickly as possible. And usually this means just kind of slapping those broken ends back together in a process called non-homologous end joining.
I hear what you said. Hippity-hoopla!
But if anything has happened that has damaged those 2 loose ends, then just pasting them back together as is going to result in an intact but messed up DNA molecule. It's kind of like gluing a mirror back together.
You can still see the crack in that mother reflection.
But whales, as it turns out, are really good at non-homologous end joining. It's like their cells are melting the mirror back together rather than just gluing it. And the scientists figured out that a major tool that their cells use for this process is called CIRBP. Now, human cells also have CIRBP, but it's built a little different and in a way that seems to make it way less effective. And when scientists shoved the whale version of the protein into human cells, those human cells got better at non-homologous end joining, resulting in fewer mutations. Now, this obviously has huge implications for human cancer research, and I think it's a really great example of how breakthroughs in medicine can come from the most unlikely sources. Evolution is a crazy thing, and a lot of the creatures that we share this planet with are both similar enough to us and different enough from us that by studying them, we can learn a lot about who we are.
Nature but make it vampire core. These are Dracula parrots. They sound like vultures and they like to scream in the middle of the night. And they're large, almost 2 feet tall large. Devil's tooth fungus looks like it bleeds from its spores. Ironically, it is an anticoagulant. Siberian musk deer, also called a vampire deer. Ghost bats, they are Australia's only carnivorous bat. They prey on birds, reptiles, and other small animals. Black bat flowers have ears and whiskers. They're found in Southeast Asia. Vampire squids can be black or red. They have lights at the tips of each arm which are used for communication. Dried snapdragon look like skulls. They may or may not have magical powers to ward off evil. Fire snail only found in Malaysia. Queen of the night tulips and black velvet petunias. Dead man's fingers look like zombie fingers crawling up from the ground. They grow out of rotting wood. Doll's eyes, creepy and super toxic. And bloodworms, they can kill things and attack humans because their jaws are metal and connected to a venom supply, and they live in shallow water. So I personally will never be touching water again. Thank you.
People are very upset with this Michael Jackson impersonator's reaction to the Michael Jackson biopic. So Fabio Jackson is probably the most popular Michael Jackson impersonator in the world right now. Well, he posted a video reacting to the Michael Jackson biopic that's coming out soon, and people did not like this video. After everyone saw Fabio's reaction to the biopic, people were kind of upset that he wasn't just straight up glazing the film, and they felt like he was kind of judging the main actor that was chosen for Michael. Basically, people are saying it's out of jealousy that he wasn't chosen to play Michael instead. Fabio actually released a response to the criticism, basically saying that he's not going to like glaze a film that he hasn't seen yet, but people are still against Fabio.
So, some people say the cucumbers taste better pickled. What? Huh? What?
That's super weird.
Bro, China really be living in the future sometimes. They just set a world record after 16,000 drones took to the sky in what is now the largest synchronized drone display ever recorded. But the craziest part about this is that the previous world record, which they also had, was only 5,164, which was set in 2021. And now they tripled that in just a matter of years. Each drone followed a specific programmed flight path to create visuals of towers, blossoms, and a glowing sky tree, which then had fireworks launched out of its branches. What the hell are they gonna do in 2030?
That's like way cooler than fireworks.
Yep. What are you?
Oh no.
That looks like a gigantic spider.
She sounds like she's from Australia. I don't know.
That's one big mother.
We don't have those in Texas.
So apparently skin cancer isn't caused by the sun, because it actually might come from your diet, and this has been known for almost 40 years. So back in 1988, Australian researchers ran a study on hairless mice and exposed them to UV light, and what they found was pretty wild. So they split the mice into two groups. The same amount of calories were given to both groups, and then they also had the same amount of UV light exposure too. The only difference was the type of fat that they ate. And this is where things get really crazy, because the mice eating polyunsaturated fats, like your standard seed oils, like soybean oil and canola oil, the oil that's practically in every kind of processed food, well, they started to develop skin tumors after UV exposure. Conversely, though, the mice eating saturated fats like butter were completely fine. Same UV light, but no tumors. But it actually gets even more interesting, because when they looked at the protected mice, the ones eating saturated fat, and then they switched them over to seed oils, tumors started showing up. So it appears that the seed oils seem to be actively promoting cancer growth when being exposed to UV light. So based on the study, seed oils plus sun equals tumors, and then a saturated fat is actually protective. And so this is just more confirmation that eating unnatural processed oils is probably a bad idea.
Fucking Chuck Norris.
That's good to know.
You know those people who are constantly late to anything and everything? Well, science says they're thriving compared to everyone else. Because isn't that just the way it goes? Of course, I say that as if I'm not perpetually 5 minutes late for everything, but it's fashionable when I do it. It's everyone else who's rude and incompetent. Anyway, a study at Harvard Medical School found that people who are chronically late tend to be less stressed and more optimistic. Which makes sense, we all would be if we were delusional and convinced we could get out the door in 10 minutes instead of the 90 it actually takes. But this whole optimism thing that late people have isn't just a vibe. It's linked to longer life expectancy and lower risk of heart disease and high blood pressure. Okay, but why does this happen? Like, it can't be that hard to be on time for things, right? Well, according to psychology, it actually is. Many people who are always late struggle with something called the planning fallacy. Like I mentioned a second ago, they basically have no concept of how long it actually takes to do anything. As you well know if you are in any kind of relationship with a person like this. My best friends Melissa and Dana, my dad, my little brother. Anyway, because of this misjudgment, they tend to get bogged down in multitasking, which we humans are pretty much inherently bad at. They also tend to be more type B personalities who are just inherently more laid back. So it's not that they don't care enough to be on time, it's just that their brains work differently, especially if they're neurodivergent. Now, of course, none of this means your boss is going to suddenly forgive you for missing the Monday meeting every week. But it does mean that if you're the person who's always running a bit behind, you've probably got your life a lot more together than people give you credit for.
Why are you so sweaty? I was watching Cops.
Hey, that's so true.
If you're interested in space at all, something very exciting is happening this week. This absolutely giant rocket is launching for only the second time ever, but this time it's sending things to Mars. And if you live in this area, you might be able to watch it launch to space. This is Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket. It's huge. It's 322 feet tall, and sitting in here are a pair of satellites. The satellites are called ESCAPADE, or Escape and Plasma Acceleration Dynamics Explorers. One of the things they're going to try to do is try to figure out why Mars used to look like this when it looks like this now. Why did it lose its atmosphere? Figuring this out and how the current atmosphere handles things like solar storms is very important if we're going to have astronauts on Mars in the future. Blue Origin is also going to attempt to land this part of the rocket on a giant barge so that they can reuse that part for future launches. That part didn't work on their first launch. And what's crazy is that after this, the next time this rocket launches, it's going to be bringing Blue Origin's first lunar lander, Mark 1, to the surface of the moon. So this is all really high stakes, really quickly.
Why are we having another space race?
You notice when we talk about people doing horrible stuff on islands, people always think the tropics. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be that far away. It doesn't have to be in the Caribbean. It doesn't have to be in the tropics. It could be in the middle of a Great Lake. Take North Fox Island in Michigan, for example. In the 1970s, it became one of the darkest secrets hiding in plain sight. What was supposed to be a summer camp for troubled boys, funded by a supposedly charitable man named Francis D. Sheldon, On paper, it was all about helping kids and preserving nature, but behind that polished smile, he was running a front, because that wasn't a summer camp, it was a trafficking ring, one connected to a network of predators, operating not just on the island, but across the whole state. When it started unraveling, Sheldon vanished, like disappeared off the face of the earth, never charged, never found. To this day, no one knows what happened to him. Supposedly, he went to the Netherlands, and yet, while everyone talks about the mystery, almost nobody talks about the infrastructure that allowed it to happen. And it's because there are thousands of places like that. Not just in Michigan, but there's vast areas of private land, islands with no docks, forests with no mapped roads, compounds tucked away behind no trespassing signs that even drones can't fly over without permission. Every state's got its version: fenced-off wilderness, underground bunkers, ghost towns that never officially closed. And the scariest part, North Fox Island wasn't a myth. It wasn't hearsay, it was real. It was proven. The whole thing was documented in police reports. But hey, it got brushed under the rug, because it's just regular old guys doing what rich guys do best, buying prophecy and calling it philanthropy.
Hey, Paul!
That's creepy. I don't like
what
that at
are
all.
these lines in the sky that we have all seen?
There's sprayed particulate dispersion. Bottom line is, when we have up-close film footage of these aircraft at altitude with nozzles visible turning dispersions on and off, this is not, quote, condensation. Geoengineeringwatch.org is the only entity to sample what these heavy aircraft are emitting at altitude. We found exactly what we knew we would find, starting with aluminum nanoparticles. Bioavailable freeform aluminum is toxic to all life, period. That element is named in numerous climate engineering patents as part of a geoengineering dispersion element. This elephant in the sky that we are told is a conspiracy theory is exactly what the entire global climate science community says we need to deploy immediately to slow down the warming of the planet.
I saw like 3 of those last night. It's sunset. Tornadoes.
Has anyone ever seen the south coast of Antarctica?
Why would they?
No one.
No.
Yeah. And so that's a mystery of itself. Like, no one's ever been to the south coast of Antarctica. But as the ice capsules are melting, and I'm not making comment on global warming here or not, but like, because that can be controversial, but as the ice capsulages are melting, it's revealing a lot. So they found these 2 kayakers that were kayaking in Antarctica. They wanted to be the first to kayak through a river that opened up. They came across these massive statues. I posted a video on this. These massive statues that have been under the ice for all these years. The crazy thing is, they're like, are these Greek? Are these Roman? Or are these Egyptian?
This is Sparta!
So it looks like ancient civilizations had a connection to Antarctica. And for sure, the world governances are hiding stuff there.
So what did they establish it is? Is it Egyptian? Is it Roman? Like, what is it?
We think it's Roman.
They think it's Roman.
We think it's Roman. Like, the Egyptians traveled more of the world than we think. And so most stuff we come across is Egyptian. But this one was Roman.
Also, I heard that when you fly over Antarctica, and obviously I don't know, I'm just hearing all these stories, but I keep hearing about this story that there's a big hole.
Yeah.
Is that real or not real?
I think it has something to do with the south coast of Antarctica. So, I'm trying to get down there ASAP, but as I mentioned, I'm just so busy. Like, I don't even, I don't want to repeat, like, I don't have time to whistle. I'm just so busy.
That's a butthole. No, go away.
It's hard to understand if he's being serious.
Major warning, as there is a new way people are breaking into houses. Honestly, this is terrifying, but make sure you share this with your friends and family right now, trust me. So you probably think having Wi-Fi in your home is a great thing, but not when you find out that that's how people are now breaking into your house. And your Ring doorbell is definitely not as safe as you think. What they are doing is setting up these Wi-Fi jammers. They're setting them out right outside of your house. This meaning that you are not going to be able to have any Wi-Fi. You won't be able to call the cops, your friends, or your family. Obviously, if you have signal, you're fine, but this is being targeted at houses in the middle of nowhere where there's probably no signal. With some robbers actually reportedly using data blockers as well to block the 4 and 5G signal so you cannot do anything, which is terrifying. Of course, with no connection, everything goes down. Your cameras, your security system. Then when no one's around, there may be a window that's been left adjacent or somewhere that's a little bit open, and they will come in. Most commonly happening at night, you'd be asleep so you wouldn't even know your Wi-Fi is down. You think, oh, there's a Ring doorbell on. If anybody comes in, that's going to go off. Well, it won't, because that's connected to the internet. Now, last year alone, there was over 150,000 home invasions, which is terrifying to think. But please, always stay safe, take precautions, and share this with your friends and family.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the shotgun to the face. That's crazy. Man, I need one of those cameras. The moon is so weird.
So a whistleblower has said that we've got until December the 19th to get everything sorted on the planet before the arrival of these alien beings, multi-species, coming on this planet, this Manhattan-sized craft, which is slowly making its way, going around the edges, letting everybody know that it's there, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's going to be havoc on the planet with these underwater volcanoes. At the beginning, it sounded intelligent what he was saying, because he was going into the German stuff and then into the Aryan stuff and the Black Forest and what they've done there. That kind of makes sense because I've researched that. But this that's going on December the 19th, I don't know. But you take a look.
And so there's a lot of agendas. Humans will find out that this has been a vast experiment, and that the Earth actually...
and that's going to shake up every religion.
Yes.
I mean, that's going to be, forget the holy wars with Muslims and Christians and all that. This is a whole nother set of issues.
Absolutely correct. That's correct. And that's why NASA is holding on to that comet explanation, even though it's not a comet. It's turned blue. It's accelerated. It has reversed thrusters.
Jeez.
It has no tail. It has changed emissions.
So what is this thing going to do? Is it going to plant itself over our planet until we all just look at it and then they come down in a tractor beam? I mean, what's it going to do? Is it just what's it? It's so far it's giving messages to our governments.
Our satellite picked up what we thought was Pootie Tang. That was a week ago.
Filmed along the upper Colorado River, new footage
day.
shows a massive upright figure moving through the trees from a different angle than the original clip. Broad shoulders, dark silhouette, and no sign of other hikers nearby. A fresh look at the Colorado Bigfoot, or just another setup? You decide.
So here's what just happened. Google's Willow quantum chip just solved a problem that would take classical supercomputers longer than the age of the universe. But that's not even the crazy part. The crazy part is what they did next. They used this chip to peer inside molecules in ways that were literally impossible before. They broke through the Carnot principle, a 200-year-old law of thermodynamics that said there were hard limits to what engines could do at the atomic scale. Scientists in Germany just proved that wrong. They showed quantum systems can exceed efficiency limits we thought were fundamental to reality itself.
Well, that's a breakthrough. I like that. God, dog. I hate to laugh, but he ran right into that wall like Mike from this Jersey Shore. Jeez. We just need to move these people out of there. Jesus. Hopefully we're getting some help out there, man.
You don't need a pilot's license, and you don't even need a runway.
It looks awesome from down here.
Such a great feeling and just the best view ever. And normal aviation
You don't get to fly this low to the ground that often, so getting to do it in this point of view is spectacular.
There, can you see it? It's just there. It looks wrong. You know, my brain can't quite get a handle on the movement. I'm used to seeing how cars, motorbikes, airplanes move. This just moves differently. It's disconcerting. It's weird. I mean, it's awesome. It's weird.
If you've ever played a video game, you can fly this thing. It's one joystick. Seriously. Starting price, $190,000, and for now, the battery life is only around 20 minutes, the range only about 20 miles. Pivotal says that will improve.
By the time you get in and take off, it's going to be dead.
What are we calling this? We call it like an aircraft? We call it a flying car? I mean, what is it?
So technically it's an eVTOL, which stands for Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing
You
Aircraft.
need a sexier acronym.
Yeah.
Or a sexier name.
Yeah,
Sure,
exactly.
right.
And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
And why don't you put some wheels on it and actually make it a flying car?
We definitely don't have the weight budget for wheels to be taking it on the road, unfortunately.
Disappointed, Ken.
One pilot told me flying a Cessna is like driving a sedate sedan. Flying this is like riding a motorcycle.
I mean, that's a breakthrough too.
Infinity is so much weirder than you think it is. If our universe were infinite in size, which it very well could be, that means that every possible configuration of matter must exist somewhere. This means that if you traveled far enough, you would find an exact replica of our Earth with an exact clone of you watching this same video, except maybe in this world, the Epstein files did get released. I mean, it sounds impossible. Not the Epstein files bit, but the fact that there are multiple copies of you out there. But that's just the nature of infinity. See, take the number Googleplex, for example. It is so large that if you tried to just write it out in a font size as big as protons, you would not have enough space in the observable universe to finish the first 1% of its digits. Googleplex is huge, but still, it's 0% of infinity. Now, we can utilize the concept of infinity with the Library of Babel, where every book is literally a random assortment of letters and characters. Now, what are the chances of you opening a book and it happens to be your Year 6 report card? It's impossible, right? No. It's just highly unlikely, but this library is infinitely large, so every possible combination of letters and characters must exist somewhere, including the script of this video. They even have the photo edition where every pixel in the image is a randomly selected color. Now, if everyone in the world clicked through one of these images every second for the lifespan of the universe, we would still likely never find any meaningful image. But that's not infinity. Given infinite time, every photo must occur, including photos of myself that don't even exist. And this is why infinity is so counterintuitive. I mean, it doesn't even make sense to say infinity is large. It transcends the idea of what it means to be big. Yeah, but aren't some infinities bigger than others? Oh, God. Yes, okay, you're correct, but I'm not answering that right now. But I'll tell you what else is infinite in nature, is the bottomless doom scrolling you're doing right now. It will never stop unless you force it to stop. So take this as a message, end it here, and get the off your phone.
Infinite shouldn't have a percentage though, right? Like, that's impossible. Sorry, I'm cold. I haven't seen these videos in a while. Wait, what? Those are always fun. R.I.P.
And then one of the more recent revelations was magnetohydrodynamic air-breathing propulsion and power for aerospace applications. This is Paul Sizz again. What I found out from this was that they can essentially use air as their fuel source. And so they can create a laser, a free electron laser that zaps the air and combines that with an onboard chemical. And that can be used as the fuel source, which means they don't need engines. They don't need rockets on their rocket things filled with fuel anymore. So this hypersonic design was based on the scramjet and ramjet hypersonic vehicles, mainly from Russia. One of the planes known as the Ajax. And once again, it uses a non-equilibrium plasmas. It actually shoots a laser in front of them, creates a plasma sheath, and these plasma sheaths reduce drag. So it allows the craft to move forward faster. And one of the big questions there is, why is the plasma reducing the drag? From the zero-point energy perspective, we can understand it. There's manipulating the zero-point energy. It's pushing away the zero-point energy means there's no inertia. There's no resistance anymore.
That's scary. I didn't know he had anything close to that.
Yeah. Why? We don't.
He was about to get in trouble.
Arrêtez! Arrêtez! Vous voulez quoi? Arrêtez! Parlez, merde!
I'm so sorry.
Je n'en peux plus. Je n'en peux plus.
J'ai un Airbnb.
Bon allez, j'appelle les flics. 4 heures du matin. T'arrives. Elle est dans le noir. Elle est dans le noir. Putain. Je vais péter un câble. Je vais péter un câble. C'est pas ses yeux.
I was ready for that.
Non, 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 non. Non, 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 non. C'est pas ses yeux.
I don't see it again.
Is our DNA the key to massive storage centers? The modern world uses a lot of data, and we need solutions to store all that. Enter your DNA. It already works a lot like a computer. A certain sequence of code, and you have blue eyes instead of brown. A single gram can store 1 trillion gigabytes of information, which is like 55 billion movies. So that scene in Man of Steel where Zod was trying to extract documents from Superman's body might have sounded pretty stupid at the time, but is actually possible. The idea behind DNA storage is instead of using ones and zeros, data is converted into the 4-letter language of DNA, which is TGCA. And then it can be converted back into ones and zeros when you want to watch a movie. Scientists in China recently printed this synthetic DNA onto a cassette tape. And while it won't be able to play songs, just like an external hard drive doesn't have a headphone jack but can still store your songs, a DNA cassette could store every recorded song ever. Some estimates suggest that all of the world's data could fit into a shoebox using DNA storage. And while traditional methods can start to decay after a few years, DNA would last hundreds. However, the conversion of ones and zeros to the ATGC of DNA is a slow process. And because of that massive amount of data being converted back and forth, it leaves a lot of room for error. This method is more likely going to be used for archives that don't need to be accessed very often. Let me look inside you.
That'd be nice. I'm tired of storing it.
Crazy facts about Halloween. Halloween is older than Christianity. The first jack-o'-lanterns were carved out of turnips, and they were filled with fire to scare off demons. They came from the legend of Stingy Jack. He's a man who tricked the devil with nothing but glowing coal inside a carved root. In 1974, a dad poisoned his own son's Halloween candy for insurance money. And that's where the poison candy legend comes from that you hear about every year. Night before Halloween used to be Mischief Night. It was filled with arson, vandalism, and people trying to summon spirits for fun. The word witch once meant wise. Halloween masks have a sinister past. Masks used to be made out of animal skin as well as other parts of the animal. The world's heaviest pumpkin weighed over 2,000 pounds. Legend has it that if you see a spider on Halloween, you're lucky unless it's in your shoe, then it means you're gonna die.
Forget 3i Atlas. Do you know there once was an asteroid en route to hit Earth that just disappeared? It was called 2007 FT3, first observed by NASA in March 2007, and then it was just deleted from our universe. It was on a trajectory towards our planet, measuring anywhere from 270 to 590 meters wide, enough to cause some serious damage. We're talking over 1,000 megatons of impact, 20 times stronger than the most powerful nuke ever dropped. City-scale destruction, multi-year global climate disruptions and all. Well, it was only observed for a little over a day, 1.2 days to be exact, and then it just vanished without a trace, and it's a little more concerning than you think. NASA lost track of it as they called its orbit poorly constrained. Basically somewhat unpredictable, and they couldn't calculate where it was or where it's going anymore, which wasn't really a big deal until 2019, when it was classified as a potentially hazardous asteroid, PHA, as NASA's predictor models picked up that it could potentially still hit Earth, anywhere from 2024 to 2031, which, yeah, sure, it's a pretty big window, but it's a window we're currently inside of. Everything about this is just kinda odd. Like, how do you lose track of an asteroid unless its trajectory isn't natural or someone intentionally got rid of it? Which apparently might be what happened, according to these leaked email transcripts someone anonymously sent to me requesting to cover this topic, saying that, get this, Hank Green may have actually been responsible for the disappearance of asteroid 2007 FT3, while the rest of the world considers it lost. Like the Hank Green, you know, the science video guy? He's mentioned all over these email transcripts and apparently wants to reveal the truth. Am I reading this right? Well, it turns out even Clash of Clans is getting involved and have something new to tell us about 2007 FT3 for the first time since it was detected. Just so you know, the story behind this asteroid is completely real and actually happened. For real. Look it up. But keep your eyes on the Clash of Clans channel to find out what sort of take they're planning on giving us on this disappearing space rock and what it means for the rest of us real soon.
What?
Can you think of anything we actually may have learned from an alien crash?
Like there's a lot of speculation on what sort of technology that we've benefited from has come out of these situations.
Tang.
But one of the really serious reveals in the film is that intelligence officials in our government and elected officials in our government have uncovered the fact that there is a deeply hidden UAP crash retrieval program, and they've been reverse engineering UAP. And there is, in fact, a program at adversarial nations as well. And so there's this essentially high-stakes secret Cold War race playing out right now to reverse engineer this technology. Some of the interview subjects in my film refer to it as the Manhattan Project on steroids because the stakes are so high, but the public has no idea. So, you know, one of the things I hope comes out of this film is the public becoming aware of this situation, because these circumstances impact us all. But we all, for the most part, think it's not a serious issue. We think it's a joke, laugh at it.
I don't think it's a joke. I just don't, it does not seem to me like they have evil intent, at least not for now. And, you know, given the state of humanity, I don't know if anybody could really do worse.
I mean, would you if you were an advanced non-human intelligent species, would you want us showing up on your front lawn?
I mean...
Okay, so this image is going viral right now. This is the Princess of Bulgaria over here, Kalina. And many people, you know, people had ideas about, you know, Michelle Obama. Many people wondered, just kind of, if you know what I mean. Also, Barbara Bush. You may pick up what I'm putting down here. This one also, you know, people wonder if they're kind of installed as some form of like subconscious, subliminal manipulation, you know, when they install these people. And of course, we can't forget Bridget Macron. Watch how she sits down here. Many people are puzzled. It just seems odd. Just watch. That's usually how someone else sits down. So this is surfaced on Twitter, and people are wondering if the same situation is going on with the Princess of Bulgaria. You know, my thing is this. It's all well and good to know that certain
Princess of whoop your ass.
Interesting things are going on with super famous people, and perhaps lies and tricks and manipulations, you know. But I will say, whether or not that is the case with some of these people, which do not wait for the mainstream to like confirm this, by the way. It's just like, it's going to be something you're going to have to, don't hold your breath, put it that way. But my understanding is that this all has to do with the erosion of the family unit. They want to do away with father, mother, and children. That unit, that bond is so strong. When that is transposed across a community of strong fathers, strong mothers, that's a strong community, that's a strong town, that's a strong city, that's a strong country. Strong countries are hard to manipulate. And so they're attacking us from all ends here. The chemicals in the food, water, and air supply, the brainwashings and subliminal messages that they fill the media with. And then also the chemicals we're finding that affect frogs that are very unfortunate as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Show them, friend.
I don't know, man. That just looks
Chronic
scary.
anger floods your system with cortisol, and that shrinks your hippocampus, which messes with your memory and tanks your impulse control. Most people think that anger is a natural release. It isn't. It's not release. It's rehearsal. Every time you replay the story, you reinforce the same brain loop. And neurons that fire together, wire together. That's Hebb's law. You're literally practicing rage. The real reason you stay pissed off gives you a hit of certainty in a world that feels unpredictable. But that hit costs you focus, sleep, and long-term brain health. What you need is a U-turn. Here's the method. Step 1, name the loop. Anger activates your amygdala, which is your brain's alarm system. Labeling the emotion, literally saying, a part of me is angry right now. That moves processing to your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that thinks before it reacts. Naming the feeling is your first act of power. Step 2, breathe like you mean it. Long, slow exhales signal your vagus nerve to downshift your nervous system. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Repeat that 3 times. You're not suppressing anger. You're rebalancing brain chemistry. 3, move the energy. Anger is adrenaline that needs somewhere to go. Walk, do push-ups, shake it out. Physical movement burns cortisol and rewires your stress response faster than just thinking about it. Here's the takeaway. You stop being pissed off by using biology, not willpower. Name it, breathe it, move it, done. Write power in the comments to remember this is how you reclaim your power. Power in the comments. Like the video, follow me, and click the link in my bio. I'm enrolling my program in manifestation right now. That program, it lives inside its own app, and inside that app there's a community of people, and we're all up-spiraling our lives together. Vibrant beings, up-spiral your life.
The real reason quantum particles change their behavior when observed scares the shit out of me. When you shoot light through 2 slits, you get an interference pattern because light behaves like a wave and it interferes with itself. But if you fire just 1 photon at a time, you still get that interference pattern. So what's it interfering with? Well, quantum objects like photons don't definitively exist in space or time like normal objects do. They are in what's called a superposition. A single photon will literally travel through both slits and interfere with itself. But the moment you try to observe which slit it actually goes through, everything changes. It stops acting like a wave and starts acting like a normal particle, just going through 1 slit. So it appears the act of observation changes the particle's behavior. Now, this is terrifying, but not for the reason you may think. Because it's not your consciousness doing it, but I promise it's just as weird. An observation doesn't need an observer. It's really when a particle interacts with its environment and gives off some information about it. This leaking of information is called quantum decoherence and is really what is changing the particle's behavior. It's not so much knowing about the particle that changes its behavior, but the potential to know. The instant information exists about the particle, the universe in some unknown mechanism forces it to take a more definitive state. But here's the really weird part, because modern quantum theory tells us that the most fundamental aspect of reality is really information. All the matter and energy of the universe are really just emergent properties manifesting from a more fundamental information field. As famously put, it from bit. all of physical reality. The it comes from bits of information. But this could tell us something about our consciousness. Consciousness may not arise from physical matter, but rather both matter and the mind could be seen as different expressions of the same underlying informational substrate. In what's called the integrated information theory, consciousness might just be an emergent property of sufficiently complex information processing that matter, like the brain, only helps to facilitate. But it makes me wonder, why does information exist if not to be received, or perhaps perceived? Now, I know I'm getting speculative, but is consciousness an illusion of biology or something more fundamental? Well, the answer, or perhaps the question, is not very clear.
You sound like you're from London. Yeah.
Don't know what he's talking about. It's cold.
Friendly reminder that water isn't always H2O. The water we search for beneath Europa's ice, or on Ariel, a moon of Uranus, may be able to support life, but that doesn't mean it's chemically identical to our water. You learned this in school, but really, it's this. And all of these options are because of isotopes. If you fell asleep in chemistry class, like I did, then you may not remember, but we categorize elements based on how many protons they have. So hydrogen has 1, helium has 2, so on and so forth. So when the number of protons is the same, but the number of neutrons is different, that's called an isotope. Isotopes are made from stars or radioactive decay, and they can provide really unique signatures on the backstory of, for example, where the water in a certain comet came from. Hydrogen can come in these 3 forms, so to speak. D2O, otherwise known as heavy water, has deuterium instead of hydrogen, and it's in our water. While rare, you do drink it in very small quantities. Water with deuterium usually forms in cold environments. So a comet far from the sun is more likely to have a higher concentration than in the asteroid belt, which is closer to the sun. It's believed that in Earth's early life, it was too hot for water. But as it cooled, water was delivered via asteroids, which has a more similar deuterium concentration. But there are some weird things happening with this, so we're not entirely sure yet. What would be really cool is if the water on Europa or Enceladus has a completely different concentration of deuterium, because that could mean it came from a completely different source than from wherever we got our water.
That's so interesting to me. I don't know why. Yeah, you could see some kind of shape in the back. What do y'all think?
What is this? We've got to go. They're coming for us. Here's your weapon.
What is happening?
Drink. Get in the van.
Good God.
We're putting a heart monitor on you. Say cheese.
Cheese. Toilets, give me toilets, give me toilets.
Where's John Pork?
I don't know.
No, Frank, your friend we brought in here?
Yeah.
This is his real form.
LeBron James.
Who is that?
LeBron James.
Take a look.
Who are those girls? Who are those girls?
What the fuck is happening?
Ring that.
Who is this?
Monkey.
Is this you?
I mean, nuts.
Is it you?
No, that's LeBron James.
A nurse was so lazy that he killed his patients to reduce his workload. Reports are coming out today that an unnamed 44-year-old German man has been sentenced to life in prison after killing 10 of his patients and attempting to murder at least 27 others. Prosecutors say that he targeted mainly his elderly patients by injecting them with lethal amounts of painkillers or sedatives to ease his workload during night shifts. Bro, killing because you can't be asked is wild. But what makes this even worse is that all of these offenses took place over a period of just 6 months. And it might not even end there because authorities believe that he could be linked to even more victims prior to this time frame.
Because it's coming in like a blazing meteor. You can see the real-time video.
Well, tell me the speed again, because the speed was bananas. You were talking about...
Yeah, it's like 17,000 miles an hour. Like 25 times the speed of sound or thereabouts. So, so think about like it's like 12 times faster than a bullet from an assault rifle. Bullet from an assault rifle is around Mach 2.
And it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Or compare it to like a bullet from a 45 or 9 mil, which is subsonic. That's, it'll be about 30 times faster than a bullet from a handgun.
30 times faster than a bullet from a handgun, and it's the size of a skyscraper.
Wow, this is incredible.
Think how slow it looks.
250 years.
I wanted to mention that because think how slow that rocket looks taking off. A lot of people can't comprehend how the Earth moves so fast. Just trying to scale it out for some people that don't understand how fast things can move, but when they're bigger, it seems like they're moving so much slower. Great example.
Wow, this is incredible. Now we can live up to 250 years. Researchers at Osaka University in Japan have identified a drug called IU-1 that can significantly slow aging by enhancing the protein quality control systems in cells and may even open the door to extending human life up to 250 years. Aging as an inevitable process, as we know, often accompanied by various diseases. One of the main causes of aging is the loss of protein balance within the body's cells, a phenomenon known as proteostasis. Cells possess mechanics that identify and break down damaged proteins. However, with aging, these systems become less efficient, paving the way for many age-related degenerative diseases. In this context, the researchers' team investigated the relationship between the two key protein quality control systems, proteosomes and autophagy. They discovered that the IU-1 drug can enhance proteasome activity while simultaneously boosting autophagy. This synergistic mechanism could help reduce aging-related muscle weakness and increase lifespan up to 250 years. What do you think about this? Put it in the comments. I've decided to start this new line of some good news, just to bring more positivity and hope into our lives. Share this with your friends. Till the next one.
DARPA is something most Americans have never heard of. It's the biggest collection of geniuses anywhere in government. These are the guys that are creating not the next generation of technology, but 3 generations from now. If there are flying saucers and they're not little green men from outer space, DARPA made them. Seriously. This always struck me as very funny. DARPA's work is so classified that one DARPA scientist sitting next to another DARPA scientist has no idea what the other guy's working on. It's too highly classified. I mean, even at the CIA, we weren't cleared.
Not even at your position?
I had to get a Q clearance once because I had to go to the Department of Energy to talk about a nuclear issue. Nobody liked the fact that I had the clearance, and I ended up having the clearance just for 1 day, and then they revoked it. But that's how DARPA is too. This is another thing that always struck me as funny. There's a DARPA website, and they have pictures of scientists working together all in bliss. These are just generic pictures of random people you pull off the internet. These aren't DARPA people that are the pictures. You can't show the DARPA people. They're too highly cleared.
Do they ever do that though? They always use actors.
Got room for one more?
Yeah, man, let's do it. What are you trying to make? What are you feeling?
Underground type shit, some dark type shit.
Who are you listening to? Who you like?
Mad Lib. I listen to Pete Rock, you feel me?
Ooh, Pete
I listen
Rock.
to the greats, all that, you feel me? Word.
Pete Rock be sampling. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a little sample that then I can chop up. Does that sound cool?
I got you.
All right, let's see if I can figure this out.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm fucking with that. Word. Nowhere I go, spit flow straight to your brain. Freestyle, motherfucker, this is bars of pain. What you know about starving up in the streets? What you know about listening to Marvin and Sheets? I'm feeling like Tebow, I keep on throwing. If niggas got a problem, then his face I'm elbowing. Going on some crazy shit, old school shady shit. Big pimp, way that I walk with a big limp. When I lost my pop, shit was really getting hard. I was outside feeling like a fucking vanguard. All up on the blocks, I crushed by the weight. beat you in your head with a fucking 808. You already noticed I rock beats from Madlib, so Flying Lotus. If you got a problem, tell you rappers all the bloaters come too close to me, and I fuck around and put you motherfuckers face where it's supposed to be. I'm patient, fuck around, dunk like every Peyton. You see me in your home, I'm invading. Y'all niggas hating, all y'all get blasted from the rest of me. You could never step to me, cause I got the recipe.
Three-Eye Atlas was over with? No, it's now emitting some sort of a signal, but we don't really know what it means. Tell me more. Yeah, after we...
Are you trying to get on, bro?
I made a drawing for you, bro.
Oh, this is fire.
I drew it just a minute ago.
You were just drawing this?
Just now, yeah.
Dude, you're good at drawing. Are you trying to get on the mic too?
I've been trying to get on the mic.
Are you trying to draw while you rap, or?
I kind of want to.
All right, let's find somewhere to sit.
I don't know, we can try.
Oh, what about here? This is cute.
Yeah, I be fucking with like a lot of De La Soul, Gangstar.
Oh, okay. I love Gangstar.
Jojo Siwa.
Nice.
Yo, we streaming, yo. What's good? Yo, let's go next. Next is 6.
Kind of like that tempo. Yeah. Broke a generational curse. They try to say that I'm a bad seed. I ain't trying to hear none of that like an ad read. I did what I had to do to flourish my soul. When it comes to making progress, you're never too old. It's not linear. All I'm really doing is making line art. Never had a phase where I was struggling to find carts. I'm not vaping, but you could all catch the vapors. Play the rec league till it's time to step to the majors. Live and direct, these makers come with every flavor. Earn my respect, doing unpaid labor, but seeing greater. I'm an Ari at home, he looked like Megazord. I could not stay home, I would be mega bored. I'm on the streets of New York, I feel like Peter Parker. I make my mark anywhere I go, all I need's a marker. Time is on my side, feel like a clock tower. Take a stroll through the garden, make sure I got flowers. We should never ever pose with cars that are not ours. Value yourself, you harness all the power.
Nice. That's so dope that you can do that.
Hey, thank y'all so much for tuning into another Bryce is Right. I hope you all have a great freaking weekend. Make it yours. Start dressing for that cooler weather. It is here. Y'all know what to do. Go ahead, smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss out on any future content. And leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let us know what's up. Yeah, baby's asleep. But yeah, thank y'all so much. We will see y'all next time. Alright, y'all. Peace.
I just said it, man. I said it. I said.
Bitch, go to the counter. Tell it I want a chicken sandwich and some waffle frost for free.